This show furnished by Karl Gerber and Employment Lawyers Group.
Buzzing, blaring, alarm needs a beating. Wanna roll over and sleep till the evening, but these bills won't pay themselves, so I hit the shower.
Talk Radio 790 KABC. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show, and I'm Karl Gerber, a real workplace lawyer, but honestly, I don't know if I can do this show tonight. I've got a little splinter in my hand that's mostly come out, but I'm going to power through. All right, last week's episode involved a famous imposter who told us about Father Rishi Yodinsky's San Gabriel mortuary business he sought to apprentice at, as, of course, an embalmer. Unfortunately, the legit imposter failed miserably at embalming and ended up impostering his subjects. By the second cause of action of the show, we were informed Father Rai, short for Father Rishi Yodinsky, was also a shaman who paid his employees with either blue chip stamps or wacky pack trading cards. I was certain the matter merited further inquiry and could possibly bring us closer to stopping the evil Myron Alfombra, pronounced Manning but spelled M&M. It took literally no time for the ever-reaching length of the Remus Helms Foundation to track down Father Rai. He was invalidly subpoenaed for the show by the incompetent employment defense lawyer Dombass. Father Rai is standing on the desk in front of me, dressed in a most unusual manner. I cannot disclose at this time. The first thing I want to say is, Father Rishi Yodinsky, you can't pay your employees with blue chip stamps. You have to pay them in either U.S. currency or a check redeemable at a regular bank not affiliated with your operations.
I'm so tired of pants. Why do I always have to wear pants? Pants with a shirt. Pants and a shirt.
Would you prefer to wear a tunic? But he is.
Are you referring to my Zog?
How would I know? You're wearing a bathing cap, what looks like a tunic, but in fairness to you is shaped a bit like a surfboard. You're shod in sandals held together through a whip you carry in each hand. Green holographic merman leggings cover your legs.
Have you shopped online for green holographic merman leggings? How did you know how to describe my leggings to the T?
Look, I went to LABC. However, you evaded my question about paying your employees in blue chip stamps or wacky trading cards from 67 to 69, first run, or 73 to 77, second run.
I suppose you've been incommunicado with the imposter.
Unfortunately.
The imposter! The imposter! He tells everybody he's an imposter!
Well, he isn't very discreet about his profession. Maybe he's just like that when he's not working.
Excuse me? I am channeling.
If you don't get to the point about those payment issues and blue chip stamps or wacky package trading cards, our listeners will channel.
I hardly think that will transpire in Thailand. It has taken me over 300 years to achieve my level of trajection.
Yes, we've heard about your morning, afternoon, and evening purge sessions where you chuck adhesives.
Please allow me to demonstrate.
Oh, not on the microphone Doctor Who's co-host uses. Ew! Who's going to clean this mess up?
One of my adhesives?
He calls his followers adhesives. I don't think I should let them in the recording studio here.
See? All gone.
He's taping stuff. Father Rishi Yodinsky, the tape you used, it's pulling the laminate off the table's surface.
Would you have preferred me to leave my trajectory adhesives on the mic table?
Why did I invite you here? Why did I do that? Am I desperate for guests?
I was in the middle of directing a wishful funeral when some idiot in a goblin costume served a subpoena on me.
Look, these attorney services have gotten really strange now that the courts require electronic filings. They fired all of their daily route drivers. There's been a lot of protesting. The people willing to work for the attorney services and cross the picket lines, they have to wear costumes.
Really?
No.
Why art thou going around telling them fibs?
I gotta do something to keep my sanity when I've got guests like you on my show.
Congeal. Adhere.
You're not casting that shame and stuff on me and turning me into one of your adhesives.
It don't work? You ain't feeling a wee bit sticky?
No, but I suspect somewhere in Sun Valley, California, Remus Helms is.
There are two great men in Los Angeles. Remus Helms, the most important man in Sun Valley, and Father Rishi Yodinsky, presently in Culver City, but normally in San Gabriel, and sometimes in Sun Valley.
Interesting. What brings you to Sun Valley, California, Father Rishi Yodinsky?
The same as everybody else. Coffee at the 7-Eleven on Sunland, or the 7-Eleven on Roscoe by the 170 freeway.
No, nobody goes to Sun Valley for the coffee. At either 7-Eleven, although I think I did stop at the one on Sunland one day after visiting the dump. The allure of Sun Valley, California are the junkyards, wrecking yards, pick-apart, the dumps, heavy industrial businesses such as Angelus Bricks, and a few rock quarries.
And what about Remus Helms' cosplay ostrich ranch? Don't you consider that just a tad bit important?
I do understand the city derives more revenue from that operation and commerce than anything else, but it's really too weird.
Mr. Gerber, the Helms Foundation's $5 billion and 14 inches of endowment has virtually ended hunger in Africa, provided free AIDS treatment for 85% of those infected. They have provided clean water in Latin America. Should I continue?
Okay. We all know nothing rivals the Helms Foundation in terms of charitable giving. They even sponsor this show, which really is charity.
And the corporate offices of the Remus Helms Worldwide Distribution Center, located in Fontana, a mile long and about a fourth as wide, are actually in Sun Valley.
Can we get back to you paying your employees in useless memorabilia?
I beg to differ. Do you consider Wacky Package's 1967 die-cut 44 Quaker Oats a useless piece of memorabilia?
Well, I happen to know that's presently for sale on eBay for $2,099.99. But that's not a trading card.
If it's so useless, why do you know its exact price?
I wrote this rubbish.
You? You're mixed up with this nonsense. I thought you were an employment lawyer.
Yeah, that's right. I've represented more than 1,800 single employees in cases and thousands of people in class actions, PAGA actions, and multi-plaintiff cases.
Then why do you waste your time with this show? The utterly bizarre guests you have on each Sunday?
Father Rishi Yodinsky, you're not insinuating you're utterly bizarre, are you?
Of course not.
Sorry, I was really off track and thinking you might be bizarre. These days, I see a lot of men your age wearing merman leggings and holding their sandals strap up their hands as if they're have a burden.
My straps are a burden. They represent the toil, the effort of walking. Walking brings ordinary people to their next plane of existence. I am not an ordinary person.
Wasn't that a movie?
Ordinary people? I must pay homage to their mundanity. Are there any other matters that concern you? Or may I go?
Let's take a poll. Should this guest go? And then I'll get some woman co-host to join me and she'll do a bunch of fake laughs.
You You didn't give out the station's number.
Why should I? The people who feel strongly about matters like this have the station's number anyway.
Then how's the poll going to be decided?
I understand. United States Supreme Court will be looking into whether state law can require unanimous verdicts for a death penalty case. Should we go to that extreme?
Sure. It's got to be a unanimous decision between the both of us whether I'll leave and you get that female co-host to do the fake laughing thing.
Considering I'd have to listen to those fake laughs, I have no choice but to let you remain the rest of this somber show.
Shucks! I was ready to take my leave from these tangible premises and matriculate into the world of adhesives.
And this is going to be a painful next 45 minutes. We're talking to Father Rishi Yodinsky. He's supposed to operate a mortuary business. He's very unusual. I want him on the show, but quite frankly, he's too weird for me. If you've got a real employment case, you can call me at the office at 877-525-0700. I am a real employment lawyer. That's 877-525-0700, representing employees anywhere in California. Once again, 877-525-0700. For any employment case. When we come back, we'll hear more about Father Rishi Yodinsky on the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show, Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Class is hard, specifically embalming. Is it the teacher or is it learner's error? Probably the latter.
Since 1993, the Employment Lawyers Group has been a consistent force in fighting for the rights of California employees. They've represented thousands of employees in cases in which they've lost their jobs, been sexually harassed, discriminated against at work, or owed wages individually or as a group such as a class action. The Employment Lawyers Group has maintained a high win rate and a serious record before the California courts. Please call 877-525-0700 for an experienced work lawyer. That's 877-525-0700. They have call takers standing by. Online, research the firm at worklawyerca.com. They have offices throughout Southern California. If you hire the Employment Lawyers Group, your legal problem becomes theirs to solve.
At Indeed, we understand that when it comes to hiring, it's important to have a large talent pool to choose from. But sometimes too many good options can be overwhelming. That's why Indeed doesn't just give you access to a large pool of job seekers. We also offer screener tools that let you instantly narrow down your search. Hone in on hiring with Indeed. Increase your visibility to great candidates with the free sponsored job upgrade on your first job posting at Indeed.com/promo. The sponsored job upgrade is a $50 sponsored job credit. Users are charged once the credit is spent or it expires. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Geico is a proud partner for all of the alley-oop slamming, fast break breaking, above the rim dwelling. I can't believe what my eyes are seeing. Look, I study physics and now all its laws I'm breaking. Last second 3-point draining, heartbeat I'm palpitating, more like Papa Quake and no look, no way, passing plays of the game. In other words, Geico is a proud partner for all of the madness that is March Madness. And little reminder, they make it easy to switch and save.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Are you taking Viagra and tired of paying $60 a tablet? Marley Drug has generic Viagra for just $10 per tablet. $10 for generic Viagra, a savings of $50 per dose. Call now 800-438-2711 and get free shipping on all orders of 10 tablets or more generic Viagra. Marley Drug, a California licensed pharmacy. Call now 800-438-2711. 800-438-2711. Again, 800-438-2711.
Geico is a proud partner for all of the alley-oop slamming, fast break breaking, above the rim dwelling. I can't believe what my eyes are seeing. Look, I study physics and now all its laws I'm breaking. Last second 3-point draining, heartbeat I'm palpitating, more like Papa Quake and no look, no way, passing plays of the game. In other words, Geico is a proud partner for all of the madness that is March Madness. And little reminder, they make it easy to switch and save.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The 6,600-watt megaphone of clear thinking. AM790 KABC.
Buzzing, clearing, alarm needs a beating. Wanna roll over and sleep till the evening.
This is the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber. I'm a real lawyer, but this is the hippest show on commercial radio. In the last month, we've had over 20,000 people stream this show on YouTube, iTunes, every sound sharing site that exists. It's sketch comedy about workplace problems, and if you're listening on YouTube under the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show, you're hip. If you're listening on the KABC website, that's good too. We have Father Rishi Yodinsky. I have questions about his labor practices. I brought him here, but he's wearing green merman tights. Father, I don't know what to say. You got something more to tell me?
If only you were to purge, you would feel a whole lot better. Just try and see if anything comes up.
What's come up? On the last show, you were accused of having a whole bureau drawer full of embalmer's licenses.
That is true.
Well, that's highly illegal and a poor role model for your employees.
Mr. Gerber, I am a collector.
Of wacky packages and blue chip stamps, I presume.
And expired embalmer's licenses.
Why? Are these the licenses of the Hollow Famers, the embalmer of Princess Di, Riley Newton, Jessica Poliscus?
I don't want the licenses getting into the wrong hands. Not necessarily tiny hands, but that too.
Even if the embalmer's licenses are invalid, I still have you on paying your employees with blue chip stamps and wacky packages first and second run.
The only reason I pay the imposter man in blue chip stamps is he refused to give me his name.
Everyone knows an employee has to get the W-4 filled out with their social security number on it for the employer.
Maybe you can't believe a man holding up his sandals by their straps and wearing merman leggings would be scared of somebody. But that imposter guy sure is aggressive.
The dilemma is you were afraid to make him furnish a valid name, fill out a W-4, and give his social security number.
My adhesives thought I could never get it. I mean him to stick.
Presumably this is a complex metaphor nobody will understand.
Is it? I needed his hands to stick in them embalming instruments. He had the most slippery hands I'd ever come across.
Is that a surprise? The man's an imposter.
My calling requires me to give all men a chance. Regardless, people are not knocking down my doors to perform dermal surgery on a corpse. Dress the corpse, pump 120 gallons 5 to 6 times a day, or purge a corpse.
Purge a corpse? They can't regurgitate.
I want you to know up front my adhesives consent to be purged at my mortuary.
Whatever.
Even if it wasn't all the pumping and dressing and purging of the corpses, there was Operation Indonesia. The imposter fellow literally jumped at the opportunities there dusting corpses after they were exhumed. He relished the opportunity to redress the corpses in the latest fashions. Ostrich knee-high socks for women,
of course.
Although the bones were a bit narrow. Cut little bare heads on each shoulder, the squishy one-piece pair for men. He interacted so well with the Trojans.
Trojans don't wear clothes like these. Notwithstanding, giving your desperation to find employees and the man's beautiful interaction with the Trojans, you let the little legalities slide. Those about paying him validly, having his social security number, taxing him, little unimportant stuff like that.
There's California law and then the law of the adhesives.
If you are a sincere system of beliefs, you might be able to discriminate on the basis of religion under California law, but not federal law. But there isn't an exemption for taxing employees and paying them at least minimum wage in valid form.
I want you to know I pay the imposter $18 an hour as an apprentice embalmer. Did I have to do that in Indonesia?
Well, that's a good question. The work was performed somewhere other than California and the U.S., but he was employed for your San Gabriel operations, and he came back to San Gabriel when he was done with the joyous stint in Indo. California considers, I'd say California has an interest in his employment. California labor laws and U.S. laws about taxation should be followed. BTW. How long was he in Indonesia anyway? Because I saw him about 2 weeks ago, and he was still working the imposter racket.
Something tells me that man never left the imposter racket.
Something tells me that man has a closer connection to Myron Alfombra, pronounced Matting but spelled M&M, than he lets on.
From the glues of my adhesives to the Blue Ridge, Mahatma, I might just agree!
Father Rishi Yodinsky, you're not even from India.
In this life, I was born to an Oklahoma cow thief and the floozy about 0.1% Potawatomi. In the last epic, I oared a gondola in the Ganges.
You must have been the only gondola driver in the Ganges River.
Remember, I am an American Indian.
Oh, just like Elizabeth Warren.
Now, I find that a very strange comment from you. I'd expect you be all over Elizabeth Warren with or without her claims about the Indian lifestyle that real Native Americans say you have to live to say you're an American Indian. Having a scintilla of American Indian isn't enough.
Yeah, Warren's too controversial. I'd like to hear more from Kamala Harris. She's part real Indian from India, but she's pushed for legalization of marijuana as a senator, and we all know I don't condone that.
Oh, this is exciting! We are having a political discussion on Talk Radio 790 KABC!
Should we keep this up? My show is about sketch comedy and employment law. I guess history, too.
What's your opinion on political candidates using their ethnicity to campaign?
Well, that's a hard one. Ethnicity might have caused certain real-life experiences that might be helpful in figuring out, the best policies, but just to capitalize on one's heritage isn't very post-1950s America.
Yeah! Kamala Harris's father was Jamaican.
And Obama's father wasn't from America.
Do you think he was born in an African country? Maybe that imposter guy helped get Obama a Hawaiian birth certificate.
Do you think maybe the whole moon thing with the people landing is a hoax?
I've been to the moon.
You've been up on some illegal SpaceX flight?
No, I can get to the moon if I concentrate.
The political discussion was better than this.
Is this nation ready for a black American president?
Oh, Cory Booker, he's the man, born the same year as me. His parents are African American. He's got all the credentials for president. His law degree is from Yale, just like Bill, and he was a Rhodes Scholar, just like Bill.
I am feeling a purge coming on.
The mention of Bill Clinton?
On this station? Aren't we supposed to say bad things about the Clintons?
We've got to quit this political thing. I'm not that desperate for ratings.
Come on, Gerber. You're as qualified as that other guy on this station. You've got a degree in political science. Didn't you grow up in a political science household?
Yes, my father was a political science professor at one time. Public policy interested me quite a bit in college. I thought about getting a master's degree in public administration, but then I found wrongful termination, which requires the violation of a public policy. I figured I was protecting people's rights and important government rights if I got into wrongful termination.
Reminds me of when I found out about adhesives. What's a public policy?
Okay, case law says public policy is delineated in a statute, a constitutional provision, or even a code of regulation like Title 22, which regulates nursing homes and sets nursing quotas for mental hospitals.
Wow-wee! That all sounds so important. Really gets me going. I want to pull my sandal straps around my neck and do that thing that killed David Carradine and the lead singer of In Excess.
Oh, that's pretty drastic. Actually pathetic and sick. Probably a bunch of edible marijuana users do that thing.
Mr. Gerber, you just lost more listeners.
Oh, then who is listening?
Well, we lost the hardcore conservative listeners with you talking about all those Democratic candidates. All my purge stuff grossed a lot of people out. Then the suffocation thing. The American Indian talk was not much of anything. Jay, who's left?
Oh, the Remus Helms fan club.
Then you have nothing to worry about. Isn't that something like 6 million in Los Angeles County alone?
Yeah.
But on the other foot, toe ring. Did I say toe ring? I mean artificial limbs. Oh, shucks, I just offended somebody. On the other, whatever, don't you want some variety in your listeners? Or does the Remus Helms fan club do it for you?
YouTube statistics tell us 45 to 65 plus listens the longest to this show. It sort of makes sense. I'm in part of that demographic, and I tend to cover things that happened 10 years before I was born, but there are larger numbers of people 18 to 35 listening. You tell me.
It must be the Remus Helms fan club. They are 6 million strong in Los Angeles County, and they come from all walks of life and material ages.
This is the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show, and it sure is weird, and I hope it's entertaining, too. You can listen to back episodes on YouTube under Karl Gerber. That's Karl with a K. If you have a real workplace problem, you should call me for a serious consultation. It really will be serious. 877-525-0700. Race discrimination, religious discrimination. I do those cases. 877-525-0700. Sexual harassment, lost wages. 877-525-0700. Thanks for listening. We'll come back in a minute. Hear more about Father Rishi Yodinsky's whatever you call it. I don't know what it is with his adhesives. Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Specifically embalming. Is it the teacher or is it learner's error? Probably the latter.
Since 1993, the Employment Lawyers Group has been a results-oriented law firm whose goal is to get the client what they deserve. They've represented thousands of California employees who've lost their jobs, been sexually harassed, subjected to employment discrimination, or were owed wages on an individualized or group basis, such as a class action. They have a high rate of success. There are few situations involving employment law that they have not confronted. At the forefront of employee rights, they're often the first employee law firm to confront a new legal issue. For an experienced employment lawyer, call 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700. They have call takers standing by. Online, read more about the firm at employeelawca.com. They have offices throughout Southern California. Make your work problem theirs to solve.
The beacon of common sense. AM790 KABC.
Buzzing, blaring, alarm needs a beating. Wanna roll over and sleep till the evening, but these bills won't pay themselves, so I
Talk Radio 790 KABC. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show, and I'm Karl Gerber. Yes, I'm a real workplace lawyer, and we had a invalidly issued subpoena issued for this guest here. You can't subpoena someone to be on a talk show, and he's Father Rishi Yodinsky, who is the scion of the mortuary business in San Gabriel. We're just kind of going along. We don't really have a script here, so should we talk about the California IA poppies?
Sometimes I listen to your show on YouTube under Karl Gerber with a K and Workplace Lawyer. I heard on episode 30 that nameless soldier who accompanied Chapshick on one of those missions about the sanitary napkin database leading to a reunification of North and South Korea before Myron Alfombra pronounced Maddie and spelled M''N''M, stole it only to find out his 8-inch floppy disk didn't really have the database.
And your point? Are you content with talking and run-on sentences?
Heavens to Betty White! There's a run in my merman leggings. Yada, yada. The soldier from episode 30 was also in the National Guard. He was assigned to the California Poppy Detail. All those out-of-staters trying to steal the California poppies.
Well, I'd certainly say things have gotten a lot worse not far from Lake Elsinore during the last week. A state of emergency had to be declared and roads have been closed due to too much traffic. Everybody wants to see the California poppies blooming. It's a terrible phenomena called super bloom.
I've been thinking about the poppy situation. Rain is like a drug to those poppies. It makes them grow and grow and grow, just like an ever-growing Berber toupee that is actually nylon. Actually, like Violet and Willy Wonka. You know I met her at the chocolate factory last month. Well, here's my point about the poppies. I think they should outlaw the rain. Too much of a good thing isn't good for anybody.
How exactly would they go about outlawing the rain?
Legislation. Yes, legislation. The two sides could come together and do it for the good of the California poppies before they become addicts.
Can we have a serious debate on that topic?
Yes, absolutely. Mitch McConnell can get the Republicans together, and Nancy Warren can get the Democrats together. We can put on a real good TV show with all sorts of Twitter and Twitter names, and before he has a chance to veto the legislation, it will sweep through both houses of Parliament. The Senate will filibuster talking about Remus Helms and...
I believe that a veto comes after the House and Senate pass something. We don't have a parliament.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, maybe we could come up with a real good show that keeps the political crackpots off the air. Some of those ideas are really stupid. Outlawing rain. Maybe it's dumb enough to get a lot of attention. That's not much better than, okay, I'm going to say it. I was doing some lobbying for Remus Helms, and I found out Arizona prohibits the possession of more than 6 male prosthetic female bedroom toys.
Are you serious? 7's a lucky number!
While we're on the subject of stupid laws, California scores with a law prohibiting animal matings within 1,500 feet of a tavern, school, or place of worship.
How's the animal supposed to know that?
Beats me, but in all candor, I couldn't verify the existence of that statute. Public policy, I just read about it.
What were you reading?
The sanitary. It's a great rag.
I heard from an assistant to an apprentice embalmer who used to have hookups with Molly Matchett that in Vermont, a woman has to obtain permission to wear dentures.
Yeah, I spent about 10 minutes trying to verify that one, and I couldn't. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. As for this show, anything that's super weird, it's generally true unless it's part of the character.
Merman leggings are real. You can buy them online for $69.99. Excuse me. I need to take a purge session.
No!
What do you mean, no?
I'm sorry. We have to interrupt this meaningless conversation and take a call that involves an international employment problem.
What? I couldn't hear you. I was purging in the sound engineer's room.
Oh, there's a caller on the line with an international employment problem.
International? Like me?
Wait, hold on. We need to try to get this caller on the phone. Do we have the caller on the phone? Are you there? Sir, are you on there? Are you on the telly?
Who, me?
No, the crank caller.
Me no understand.
Could you tell us your name?
Do I have to?
Have to what? Go purge out with Father Rishi Yodinsky?
Who's Father Rishi Yodinsky?
Oh, you're mispronouncing his name. Besides, he claims he's one of the 2 most important men in Los Angeles.
Me? I am Sergey.
Me? I'm Karl Gerber, workplace lawyer.
That I did not know.
Well, who do you think you were calling?
I was hoping to talk to Remus Helms or Cindy D.
Where are you calling from, Serge?
Santa Monica. Near a street.
Well, opposed to somewhere in the ocean?
Not near ocean. I am near a street.
Is that atypical?
No. They have lots of streets in Santa Monica.
Well, could you please explain the nature of your international employment problem?
I was Kiev face-slapping champion of 2017.
Oh, slow down a minute. Face-slapping champion?
You want me slap your face? Show you how it done?
Typically, if another motorist is angry at the way I'm driving, they open the passenger door and they slap the face of my passenger.
That happened to you?
Yes, in 1986, but really to my passenger.
I talk about 2017.
You can talk about whatever you want because very few people are listening.
That's why I call. Hear my problem.
What is a Kiev face-slapping champion?
In my city of destination, we have a champion.
Whoopee! I used to wear Champion Company gloves to lift weights.
Why you so rude? You Russian?
Well, 25%. The rest Lithuanian.
Me Lithuanian too. 37.5% Lith and 50% Russian.
Oh, that's the same combination of my son.
Then maybe you give me parental advice.
Maybe you my son?
No, I really Mike Myers.
I really Karl Gerber, workplace lawyer, Captain Lemur Eyes, Fast Eddie, and the God Shock.
Maybe you an imposter.
Can we get back to face slapping?
It's very simple. We sit at table, man across from me slap my face, I slap his face, we go back and forth. The weak man quits, and there's the winner.
Well, this is a recognized sport?
We have a referee, spectator.
Only one spectator at a time?
What you mean?
This all went on in Kiev?
Yeah, I am local boy.
This all sounds like slaps and giggles.
No, you no understand. Slipsy Maxi hurt me.
Cool down, comrade. Who is that, a faux pas? Everyone knows Slapsy Maxie's was Mickey Cohen's club that in 1943 was on 5665 Wilshire Boulevard, but had previously been at 7120 Beverly Boulevard.
Who Mickey Cohen? Oh, yeah, Cohen. I get it.
He might have been a Cohen, but he had the largest bookmaking outfit in the country for years.
I like books.
Books as in betting?
Oh, people make lots of money on the slapsticks.
Slap watches? Those bands kids slap on their wrists and they close?
Yeah, same thing.
Is a slap a comedy act? You're saying slapstick?
No, very serious. I get hurt.
Right. That's what the call taker said. You had an on-the-job injury in Russia.
Hey, I want to ask, is Mistress Lubov really Russian?
Nah, that's Cindy D.
The same person?
Yeah, Mistress Lubov is Cindy D's cosplay character on Remus Helms' Ostrich Ranch. That takes us back to a very early episode of this show that can be heard on the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer channel on YouTube.
I stream the show right now, here in Vladimir's apartment.
Great. What kind of injury did you suffer?
I have big bruise that get infected, and this man perform dermal surgery on me and screw up.
Where did that happen?
Near your house. Man was in house above yours.
Didn't the slap accident happen in Russia?
It's no accident. It's part of sport. Can I go through workers' comp?
How the hell am I supposed to know? I'm not licensed in Russia.
That big problem.
Not for me.
My case very big. You should get licensed to do my case.
Okay, Sergey, can you hold on? We're going to have to take a break. I want to hear more about this face-slapping sport. I do think it's a real sport, and if you have, real work injuries, you can call me at 877-525-0700 for a real employee lawyer, 877-525-0700. Once again, I can be reached offline at 877-525-0700. When we come back, I think Father Rishi Yodinsky and Sergey could even be in the same conversation, and we can figure out what the world is going on here, because this is loony on the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. Talk Radio 790 KABC!
Wondering why the heck you decided to go to mortuary school.
The Employment Lawyers Group is a results-driven law firm whose goal is to get the right result for the client. They have represented employees with a high rate of success since 1993 throughout the state of California. They're only paid and if they are able to collect money from the employer, so there's not any upfront fees or costs in order to hire them. They have represented thousands of employees who've been terminated from their jobs, sexually harassed, subjected to employment discrimination, or are owed wages in an individualized or group basis such as a class action. Call 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700. They have operators standing by. They can also be reached at employeelawca.com. They have offices throughout Southern California. Hire them and make your workplace problem theirs to solve.
Real news. Straight Talk. AM790 KABC.
Buzzing, clearing, alarm needs a beating. Wanna roll over and sleep till the evening.
Talk Radio 790 KABC. I'm Karl Gerber, workplace lawyer. This is the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. In studio tonight, we have Father Rishi Yodinsky wearing green merman tights. He is a funeral director and an embalmer who had an imposter working for him. And we've got Sergey on the phone who is involved in face slapping. This is strange. So, okay, Sergey, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, I think you should consult the medical malpractice lawyer about the botched surgery you were telling us about.
The surgery not done by a doctor.
Well, then contact the medical board and the police.
Men who do surgery say he was only qualified on stiff.
Maybe he's an embalmer.
No, he say he's an apprentice embalmer.
Father Rishi Yodinsky, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I hardly think so. I am pondering whether I could get my adhesives to stick to the bottom of the Ganges River.
Oh, we're not entirely on different planes. I was thinking that with the soil probably being a little slimy down below, a concrete pier would have to be drilled and formed in order to dock your gondola in the middle of the river.
Good idea.
They have face slap game in India too.
Well, is this like great ball, some bizarre sport they made up for laughs where people use their finger to swing at grapes?
No, slap game's real.
Is there a difference in Russian face slapping, table style slap games, and Indian face slapping?
Indian face slapping usually standing and involve girls.
Young girls?
Women, you call them.
Well, come to think of it, I think I saw some Russian face slapping standing up when I was passing through Plummer Park in West Hollywood on my way to a Don Plummer vintage reenactment by a very good theater troupe.
I see that show.
Oh, maybe you saw me. I was the guy in the astronaut suit playing chess with the older Russian guys and getting creamed.
I no see you. I think I hear about fight you see. But guys you play chess with, not Russian. They imposters.
Maybe I saw these standing face slapping somewhere else.
You see that at Best Buy. Makes a lot of people buy TVs.
Yeah, you're right. I was buying a Best Buy card to pay my taxes, my income taxes, and I chanced upon a slap match of standing Indian women. Actually, it was about 50 synchronized screens.
Yes, lots of people get calls from IRS about going to jail for not paying tax. They pay their taxes with special Best Buy cards.
Excuse me? I am feeling ignored.
BTW, Father Rishi Yodinsky is here.
You pay tax with Best Buy card?
Father Rishi Yodinsky tells seniors to be aware. IRS never calls on phone, never threats to send you to jail. IRS never collects income tax with Best Buy cards. Don't be fooled.
Well, thank you, Father Rishi Yodinsky. You've done good work for the community.
I thought tax paid with Best Buy card.
Tax not paid with Best Buy card.
Sergey, thanks for calling. Good luck with your injury.
Yeah, maybe I sue the embalmer.
Well, I hope your face gets better. Stay away from that slapping sport until it's all better.
Thanks, I do that.
Why did you take that caller?
We
were having a lovely, intimate discussion, and he had to get involved.
Well, I felt pressure. The international employment problem and all. I didn't want to come across like a lightweight beer bong player.
I completely understand. Those lightweight beer bongers annoy me to no level.
Whatever.
A shaman never says whatever.
Some time ago, I took a class on drugs, hallucinogenics, shamanism, and magic.
Where did you take that class? The university where they lecture out the window?
Well, as you might expect, I took that class at LAVC.
Did you go anywhere else? You're always talking about LAVC.
A man should never be far from LAVC. I'm not far from LAVC.
Can you see the path to LAVC from your bedroom window?
I can.
Then tell me about the course on shamanism.
I believe it satisfied a lower division course requirement, maybe about religion. The professor was an older man. The class started with a lot of people, but as usual, it dropped down to 8 or maybe 15 people.
Shamanism is a difficult subject matter. Not for everybody.
Now, before the big drop, one day the professor asked if anyone had ever had a visual hallucination. Quite a few people raised their hands. A few confessed the visual hallucination was drug-related. Next, the professor asked for a show of hands about how many of the students had auditory hallucinations. Quite a few hands went up. Next, he asked if anyone had ever seen a halo over someone's head. Many hands rose. Upon further examination by Professor, one of the women who had seen halos admitted she saw one over the professor's head at that exact moment. I was wondering why I'd never been so empowered.
What does that mean?
Well, the majority of my classmates were schizophrenics. Some schizophrenics were also substance abusers.
Precisely.
Well, now that we've cleared that up, it most likely offended somebody.
We must talk the truth.
Well, I didn't make that story up.
Now that I see your shoelaces, I am reminded I have a labor problem.
Oh, thank God. We've got something legitimate to talk about on talk radio.
Here's my labor problem. I get a lot of goth people who think they'll like the mortuary business. With me being a shaman and all, they get all excited about the thought of being around corpses. It's just a dream for them, though. They can put on lots of black nail polish, but when it comes to fluid, pumping, or moving the body, they get all weirded out. Sometimes the family picks up the wrong size coffins, and the bodies don't look good in cramped up spaces.
Well, employees can be fired if it's not a good fit.
It's against company policy for any of the employees to test out the coffins. Rest breaks excluded, that is.
I'd hope there isn't any test driving by the employees. I'd hate to think my final resting place is used. It wouldn't be right if the velvet ends up having a used feeling.
Naturally, a lot of my employees are adhesives. During their 10-minute uninterrupted rest breaks, they look for a place to purge.
Now, employers don't have to provide a designated rest area. Under the law, employees must be completely unrestricted during their rest breaks. They can do whatever they want as long as they're back in 10 minutes.
My employees never want to leave the mortuary on their rest breaks.
Well, interesting. Maybe you could make sure they know the rules about being able to leave. Otherwise, somebody might try to come after you later on a missed rest break case, claiming they weren't allowed to leave, in fact, never did so that must mean they weren't completely relieved from their rest breaks, and rest breaks weren't permitted.
I don't think that will ever be a problem. Naturally, all my employees prefer to take their rest breaks in the solitude and privacy of a closed casket.
In other words, are you employing a bunch of weirdos?
I'd say not.
What about the safety risk of the employee getting stuck in the closed casket, forgotten, maybe even a suffocation?
Mr. Gerber, have you ever spent time in a closed coffin?
Seriously, Father Rishi, I'm not that point in my life. I mean afterlife.
Being inside of a closed casket is the most relaxing, reflective experience. I could spend eternity in a pine box.
My word, you're mad.
I most certainly am not mad. Providing funerals is a thankless job. Do you expect the subjects of my processions to thank me for their funerals?
Well, of course not. Who'd ever expect to be thanked for a funeral?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Would I?
Can I go now? I'd like to relax in a plastic coffin.
Well, Father Rishi, I thought you were higher end than that.
I am. It's just easier to clean a plastic coffin after a purge.
You know what?
What?
This conversation isn't ending a minute too soon.
Oh, no.
Guys, this is the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I really am a real employee lawyer, and we illustrate things about rest breaks or 10 minutes. They got to be completely uninterrupted. We even give some advice to those employers. You got to get those Social Security numbers. You got to make employees fill out a W-4. You got to get their real names. So, it's educational, but it's very funny. If you have a question about an employment situation, I can be reached at 877-525-0700. Once again, 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700 for Real Employee Lawyer. We'll be back next week from 7 to 8 on Talk Radio 790 KABC for the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. Thanks for listening wherever you listened.
Specifically embalming. Is it the teacher or is it learner's error? Probably the latter, 'cause you didn't read your books or study.
This show furnished by Karl Gerber and Employment Lawyers Group.